If painting is, as Leonardo da Vinci said, poetry that is seen rather than felt, then wildlife artist John Banovich is a true poet of nature. In Banovich's words, "There is an ancient mystery in the eyes of the beast. Looking deep within, we come face to face with ourselves, for they are the windows to our past and the prophecy of our future." Still in his 40s, John Banovich has become the wildlife artist of his generation, as Audubon and Carl Rungius were of theirs. And like the finest of wildlife artists, Banovich has looked deep into the eyes of the beast firsthand.
I think being an artist, the most important part of understanding your subject is spending a lot of time in the field, going out, pursuing it, observing it, discovering how it behaves under different circumstances. So you see it in a different light. And you're also putting yourself in a situation that could go, in a split second, absolutely incredibly wrong.
Dean, check out these two immature hippo sparring. You know, as the hippos make their way down from evening of grazing, they'll get to these big pools. And the choice spots, the best places, are always claimed by the biggest and the strongest.
Are they doing that more as just like you'd see a pair of lion cubs? I mean, just it's teaching them for the future?
Just testing each other's strength.
Yeah,
they're not violent at all. When they do actually do a territorial challenge, it's vocal. There's a lot of noise with it.
Just seeing these two young hippos sparring, John, has reminded me of a painting that you did called Confrontation, with a big bull coming up with his mouth wide open.
Yeah, Confrontation. That's one of my larger paintings. It's a single bull that was kicked out of the pod, a pod like this, for example, but was kicked out, so it had to spend the rest of its days at a smaller pool. So he was very territorial. He did not want an artist messing with him. And as I walked to the shoreline, the bull gave a couple of mock charges, and as he does that, he comes forward in a quick rush and then lifts his head out of the water and shows you his fighting tools, shakes his head back and forth, and bellows. And I was just fascinated with the inside of the mouth, and it was as if you were painting a landscape. These great big tusks, these incredible folds of skin, and the tongue, and the texture in the tongue, and part of the food that he was eating was in there and spilling out, and it was just extremely dramatic.
Born with a love of wildlife into a Montana family, in intimate touch with the outdoor world, he found his love of art at age 7. He melded those two loves by studying zoology and painting. For more than 20 years, he has trekked to the open, untamed places of the earth where the scenes and subjects of his paintings are to be found. He's gone to Siberia in search of the rare Amur tiger, to the Karakoram mountain range in quest of the elusive snow leopard, and to the north to encounter the giant bears of this continent. But perhaps the greatest revelation for Banovich was his personal discovery of Africa and its diverse bounty of animals. From the broad canvas of the world, Banovich returns to his studio in Montana's Paradise Valley to paint on the broad canvas of his artwork. He creates on a monumental scale, including elephants in life size. His mastery of oil paint, which employs the techniques of the old masters, has won him an array of awards from galleries, museums, and art societies. Yet the extraordinary success Banovich has earned as an artist has only helped to remind him of the debt he owes to the wild world that, in his own words, lifts our minds, replenishes our spirit, and renews our passion for living.
John, there's just something about sunsets in Africa, isn't there?
Oh, they're incredible, unlike anywhere else in the world.
And the other thing I love too is how fast the sun actually drops. Like just in the few seconds we've been here, it's almost down to the acacias there that we're looking at.
It does. Finally, when it gets to the horizon, especially in a big flat area, it seems to move very, very quickly, the last 10%. Seeing the sun go down right behind this acacia tree, which would make a great painting to have a pride of lions just waking up underneath. This is a beautiful shaped acacia.
As an outgrowth of that philosophy, Banovich started his Wildscapes Foundation.
All of my conservation efforts, and I've been involved with this over 10 years, have been through donating my art, donating some resources, donating my images, working in conjunctions with an NGO. The mission is simple: to bring together people to conserve the Earth's wildlife and wild places, benefiting the people and animals that live there.
The foundation has helped raise millions of dollars to support scientific research, promote conservation education, facilitate the protection of large conservation landscapes, aid restoration projects, develop creative and respectful partnerships to fund conservation programs, and create opportunities to build long-term community economic well-being.
Unfortunately, in the safari industry, there is no rating system, a rating system of how effective they're being stewards of the land. This safari industry needs one so that it educates consumers and it gives them information to make smarter purchasing decisions so that they can allocate those funds to areas that are really doing a great job at conservation and preserving the habitat.
It's interesting when an artist sets out and pursues its subject, they look for a specific animal, maybe an animal that has a certain posture to it, maybe a certain size, painting a big bull moose or a big kudu or whatever it might be. We load up with sketch pad, pencil, film, and I always feel that when I'm pursuing that subject, I always try to outwit the animal so that I can get myself in the best position to observe its character. Try not to be invasive with it. I don't want to chase the animal all across the countryside. I don't want to interrupt its world too much, but I do want to have some sort of an interaction or some sort of an engagement with it so I can capture that character, whatever it might be.
As eloquent in his thoughts and person as he is in his art, Banovich speaks to the heart of the matter of conservation in our time. As timeless as Banovich's paintings are, he knows it is not enough to preserve the grandeurs of nature on canvas alone. The real thing, which is ours to win or lose, needs to be there for the future artists and for those who simply marvel at the wonders of the savanna sky, water, and animals. What his art and his adventures have taught Banovich is that the wild world and wildlife are too good to miss.